Hello and welcome to the Woolpatch Live. Yes, are you there? I'm knocking on the glass to hear you. I can see you. Yes, you're there on the chair. Some of you got a cup in your hand. Some of you have even got your knitting in your hand. And I think some of you have got a house party. Hands up if you're having a house party. Well, my heart is racing. I hope yours is as well. We've got an hour of loads of things coming up. Knitting chat, fabric chat, all sorts, and all jammed in an hour as well. So let's take a look at the running order for you, so you can get your hour sorted. So if you need to go and make a cup of tea, you can choose when to do it. So here we have, for the first half an hour, we've got the knitted polo. Here we are. Woo! And a Baa-ble Beanie hat. I'm into hat knitting at the moment. Are you? It's getting colder here in the UK. Put the heating on for the first time today. Then we have our Guess the Year quiz. Yes, those of you who have watched the vlog before, normally I record the vlog. And when I record the vlog, we show the Guess the Year and you all join in. Well, now we're live, we can join in with Guess the Year live. Very, very excited. Then we've got special guest, yes, Jon from Dystopic Fibre will be popping in to show us his new yarn that I've got in my shop, the Woolpatch. And for those of you who have joined, and also those of you who have hopped along from Fibre Hustle, thanks for the shout out, you two, Chip and Aaron, really appreciate that. I think you've just watched some of them and now you've come over to watch me. But if you haven't watched any of my vlogs before, my name is Stuart and I run a bricks and mortar shop called the Woolpatch in Long Melford, Suffolk, UK. It does fabric and it does yarn and it does haberdashery, hence what we're all talking about. Hence why we've got Jon in to show off his new yarn that I'm going to have in the shop. Then we've got the gallery. Yes, that's around about 8:30 and that's when we'll chill, slow things down and we'll just really relax watching it and enjoy seeing everyone's makes and inspirations. Then for the second half, I'm going to show you life potions. Yes, you for taking the time for watching, for tuning in, you can go to the Woolpatch site and see a treat or two. Now remember, I'm only a small shop, so I haven't got much stock of some things, but those offers are just for you. Really, really appreciate it. And this is how I'm trying to use YouTube to perhaps help the shop with all those ads. So it does sort of go back into the shop. So as a little way of saying thank you, there's some treats in there for you and maybe some special offers. Then I've got another Slouchy hat to show you and another yarn shop. Yes, we don't do rivals here in Suffolk. We do all good friends. So we've got the yarn Worx to tell you about. I can hear them shouting now. Gav and Teresa's on the settee. I think they're having a house party. So we're going to talk to you about their shop and Gav's first pattern. And he's given us a little treat there for his shop, a discount code for all you viewers as well. Then Ting, yes, those who have been long viewers of the Woolpatch will know Ting. We were going to have Anya too. Let's give Anya a wave. She's sadly poorly at the moment, so couldn't join us tonight. But Ting is still going to be dialing in around about 10 to 9. And then we're going to have our little chat with what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you doing knitting? Are you doing sewing? And then the end of the show. So rammed into an hour. In between that hour, I'm hopefully going to be trying to look at the chat and see what you're all saying. There's so many of you in the chat. Oh, what support. Oh, lovely. And see, look at all you fibre hustlers that have come along to watch as well. I would have been happy with 2 or 3 people watching, but look, oh, wonderful. Oh, really, really pleased. Makes my heart sing. So, first of all then, those who know my vlog well will know that I always start a vlog in a knitted garment or a sewn garment. That may be sewn by me. It might even be knitted by me. Not often because I'm a bit slow. So no sooner than we're going to start with this, give you another show of it, I'm going to go straight into this knitted mesh top that was made for me by Colin, just from me saying, Colin, can you do that for me? And he went, of course I can. So let's go straight into this and see the knitted polo by Colin. How good was that? There are some little sneak peeks of that top, and I was able to film it properly earlier today. It's amazing, isn't it? So let me tell you about this top that Colin did. So I was looking online, as you do. I think it actually came up. I think it might have been an ad or something. You know what it's like, especially when you're on Instagram. And let's show you this. And this polo, I think it's by the make Etalon, would you say? I'd never heard of them. And I literally saw these pictures. And you know, as you do, you go, oh, I want that top. And this is very topical because I was seeing other knitters on Instagram doing something similar. Irene had already knitted for me the the pure mesh pullover by James N. Watts. And so I kind of thought, oh, it's probably topical. Look at this orange version here. And I was like, oh, I started knitting 5 years ago when I started the shop. For those who don't know, I used to be a teacher. I was a teacher from 2000 to 2016. And then, as you do, you have a life change. And I thought, what am I going to do? I ended up with a knitting and fabric shop. Didn't know how to knit. So I've learned in those 5 years. So I'm like, I recognise the stitch, but I actually don't know what it is. Go to Colin. Yeah, I know what that is. It's the Turkish stitch. Incredible. So I thought, well, I said to him, well, can you make it? And he said, yeah, no problem. So let me show you this here. If I cut to this, and I'm going to show you here. Where is it? This is what Colin, there. Oh, no, this one here. There we go. So this is what Colin has done. This is on my desk here. So this was his first attempt at Turkish stitch in some old cotton. Any of you done this before, Turkish stitch? It might have different names. Let us know in the chat what you said. I've just seen what some of you said there. That what yarn did Colin use? Thanks, Letitia. Here, anyway, let's just move that down there. He actually used cotton for this sample, but it was a bit too thin. So he then went to the Rowan DK. I gave him some Rowan from the shop as you do. Look, here we go. Single thread, 2 fine. Chock strap only. I won't show you that. Well, not on me, but it's really good. You have to. Oh, it's got a bit hot now, isn't it? But anyway, there we go. So this was his first attempt, and you can see beautiful Turkish stitch, but it's one-stranded. Now, I don't know whether I've told you before. There we go. I don't know whether I've told you this before, but when I go around to Colin's, he has a big telly on the wall, and it's amazing. So you can see everything really, really big, like huge. It's not even a telly; it's like a projector. And so we went to the picture, and I think if you look carefully at that one here, and then do this. Oh, not that way. You can actually see it's 2 strands. And he went, oh, it's 2 strands. So he then did it again. Where's that gone? He did it again, but with 2 strands. And now look at the difference. Oh, sorry for making you a bit dizzy. There. So you've got the first one, and then you've got the second one. Now, how much better does that look? You can see the double stranding there, and then as a result, come back to me. You can see, look at that. And it just sits really well. And then he was able to put the plunging neckline in. Now, the coincidence with this make is truly amazing, because at the time of making it, I don't know whether any of you would have seen this, but on Instagram, Kevin Knits was actually doing the same version here. Look at that. And it's like incredible, isn't it? So he was making this pattern up too, which he just released August as Colin was making, and I hadn't seen that either. So it's clearly a topical thing. You can see I hadn't seen it because look at the neck on Pearl Jams there is quite shorter compared to the one that I'd seen off Etalon. So it's quite incredible. So there we are, Colin's knit. Love it, Colin. Absolutely brilliant. He's a genius. We've talked about this. He's a couturier and very, very talented. So there we are. So we're going to go straight into the next one. Now, let me tell you about this this next little part. I've went out to my friends and spoke to my friends to say, oh, can you appear on my live? Can you give us some tips? Maybe some tips for me on talking live, and then also tips for you, the viewers. So I reached out to my community, and they were wonderful. They've come back, and hopefully through every live, we'll get more and more tips that we can perhaps pick up, whether that's a sewing tip, whether that's a knitting tip, a crochet tip, whatever, a dressmaking tip. So the first one, let's go into good old Jon. Hey, Jon.
Hello, Stuart. John Scott calling. Just here prepping for my show at Sewing Street. I thought I'd drop you a quick line to say good luck for Sunday. You will be fantastic. Any tips? No sewing tips at all. Just be natural. Just have a lovely time. Just be yourself. And you will be fabulous. I, for one, will be tuning in. See you then.
But I'm in my Baa-ble Beanie. There you are. Let me know in the chats if you have knitted the Baa-ble Beanie. It's a great knitting in the round pattern. Oh, I'm hot now already. Let's put that up a bit there. There you go. If you've knitted it, absolutely brilliant. This was knitted to me by Mandy, and it's a quite a famous pattern on Ravelry. It's by Donna Smith, and it's knitted in the Jamesons of Shetland Heather. It's an Aran weight yarn, and there. Can you see? It is a little big, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. But if I just go to this, you should hopefully see it a bit better, different sort of angle of it. I've wanted to knit this for a long while. I've had the yarn in the shop for about 6 months now. And when I was looking on Ravelry, good old Ravelry for knitting, isn't it? And for crochet, what you can get there pattern-wise, it's quite stunning what you can find. And this was a big one for the Shetland Heather by Jamesons. So I asked Mandy, good old Mandy, to knit it up for me. And as you can see there it is. But as I say, it is a bit big here. And I was chatting away with Fizz. Let's talk about Fizz. If you see in the chat there, the blue spanner, that's Fizz, producer Fizz. She's been there with me all along, right from the beginning in putting this together. She's the one in the chat who is dropping links to everything, keeping us organised on where to go, and then also kicking out those bots if they appear, or any other comments, perhaps a bit too fruity. So thanks, Fizz, for doing that. And we were chatting away and said, well, perhaps you do, because you can see here, perhaps you would do less blue and start doing your decreases early, because the rib, if you turn the rib up, you don't want to go any, otherwise you're going to cover the grass up, aren't you? So yeah, look there. So I have covered it up, but I've still got some sort of excess there. The pom-pom was done with the yarn too, but it's lovely and warm. Now, we all know how cold it's going to get. We all know the cost of living. Oh, not talk about that. But keeping warm in the winter is really important. But outside, we all know that wool keeps us warmer more than acrylic. Sometimes acrylic is right, sometimes wool's right. Depends on what you're spending anyway, doesn't it? And also what you like. Some people just don't like that on the skin. But it's a lovely bit of colour work. And if you're new to colour work, it's actually a really nice pattern to do. So I have put together some kits for you. So if you go to our website, the links are already there from wonderful Fizz. You can find it go to shop there. And then you're going to find your own little button. Look, YouTube live promotions just for you for watching. And if you go there, you can find then the Baa-ble Beanie kit. But links are straight in there, takes you directly. The wonders of technology, Fizz has shortened the link, made it much quicker for you. So you could put them in your basket if you fancy it. Now, Fibre Hustle was saying this just a little while ago about paying for patterns and how someone was gifting Fibre Hustle a present, but they didn't just photocopy the pattern and put it in. Same, we don't do that, we buy the pattern. So if you buy the Baa-ble Beanie kit, I buy the pattern, I print it off and put it in there. They are not photocopies, okay? As it's all about. It's about supporting each other and supporting the designers who do this amazing work, isn't it? So there we are. So that's the Baa-ble Beanie. Let's come back to me. There we go. Right. The next bit. Yes, if you have watched the vlog before, you'll know our little fun bit of guessing the year. So, you're ready? We are going into Guess the Year. It's going to be a lot condensed, so we're going to shorten it down and we're going to get our answers within 5 minutes. We're not going to come back to it because you might all go. There might be no one watching by the time we get to 10 to 9. So we're going to go into Guess the Year. You're going to see it, and then we're going to have like a split minute of firing out ideas. You've got to shout out, sitting there on your sofa to see who gets it right. So are you ready? Here comes Guess the Year. What do you think? Oh, look at my hair. I just took the hat off. So what are we guessing? Start thinking. Well, I try and sort my hair out. Start typing in the comments what the year you think it is. And then we're going to have a minute on the timer where we go through as many of your guess the years as possible. Okay, so write them in the chat. Shout them out. If you're not near the chat, doesn't matter about getting involved in the chat. I was talking with Fizz at the beginning of this live on how we were going to sort of approach doing the actual show, which is what you watch when you tune into my vlog, and doing an actual live where you look at everyone's comments. So it's getting a balance between chatting to you in the comments and also delivering the show. And I think this is a little bit where we can just have fun and look at the comments. So are you ready? I'm going to push this button here and we're going to have our minute go. '64. You're going quite late. I thought you'd go much earlier. Oh. Oh, get your answers in. Okay. You ready for it? Here we go. The answer to guess the year with his fag there. 1946. Who was close? Susan with 52. Anyone in... I didn't see anyone in the 40s, actually. Anyone there? Have a quick look. 55. A lot of you saying 60s, 58. If you got 46, great. If you didn't, don't worry. Better luck next time, because there will be another one, hopefully. Right, here we go. Stand by. Jon from Dystopic Fibre is in, and we'll be looking at his yarns that are in the shop. If you like hand-dyed yarn, and some phenomenal colours and saturations is coming up.
Hi Stuart, it's Tracy here from Curly Seams. It's a gorgeous day here in Hampshire, but I'm off to West Sussex today. I have just loaded my car with all my teaching supplies to go and do a workshop for a wonderful group of people over in the Witterings. But I thought I'd just jump on and very quickly give your viewers a bit of a tip. And that is, find your community, find the people that understand what you do. A good tip to find your community is to do a simple Google search. Go online and put find a quilt shop in my local area. It's going to come up with a list of quilt shops, knitting shops, etc. Give them a call and ask them, do you have a knit and natter? Do you have a patchwork group? Or do you know of a patchwork group near me that I can actually go and join? And go visit them. Crafters in general are very, very generous. They love to share your passion, but they love your company as well. Go do that. Go find your tribe, your community, your group of people that understand your passion. So that's my top tip for today. So right, I'm going to get on the road and I'm going to go teach my lovely ladies. Today we're doing festive boxes, so that should be fun. So have a good one. Bye for now.
Here he is, Jon from Dystopic Fibre. Hey, Jon.
Hey, Stuart. How are you?
I'm very good, very good. Very excited to have you here. Very excited for you to talk to the viewers about your yarn and Dystopic Fibre. Got it here. We're going to look at it in a little while, but before we get to the yarn, just would like to talk a little bit about you and your brand, because I've been following you for a couple of years now on Instagram and seeing your work, and it was your yarn and your colours in particular that sort of sprung out to me, and in the way you were sort of sending your brand, because you weren't just like you didn't come across to me like a. There are lots of indie dyers out there with lots of colours, but it was something about your brand that really appealed to me. I just want you to see if you can explain that to everyone else.
Yeah, I think I tried to spend a lot of time thinking about what I wanted to put across, and I probably wanted to die a lot longer, like a lot earlier than I actually did, and I think in my head I put myself off an idea if I can't fully kind of realize it in my head straight away. And so it did get to the point in starting dying where I had to say to myself, you need to do this now or else you're never going to. And so I did just kind of push the button on it. I'm going into my third year now, and I think maybe only at this point can I say I'm at the point where I've got together an idea of what to do at all. Like, how I think my first year was kind of thinking about how do I do this thing that I want to do, and my second year has very much been kind of how do I put a brand and a product together, and kind of something that I'm really happy to present to people. And I think the third year that I'm going into now, I'm trying to look into putting on much more of a show. So getting into more physical festivals, and especially considering kind of the climate and things that have happened in a few years, maybe being in person hasn't always been possible. But now that it is more possible, I think that's certainly what year 3 is going to look like for me.
Oh, exciting! But what really appealed to me though was your focus. Was you seem to have this niche which is where I think I really connected with you, because as I say, I've got some you see indie dyers on Instagram and they do loads of colors, or they do sort of certain categories but lots of it, so sometimes it can be quite overwhelming, whereas yours was this. It now seems to be quite a niche and quite focused, and therefore if you connect with that, you then really connect with that, I think.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. I had a particular collection really early on, that was focused on mushrooms and mushroom species, and I really enjoyed those colorways. And as I moved on from that and tried to experiment doing other things, it was always the image of mushroom and fungi that I was brought back to. And so, kind of drilling down into that, and having everything kind of circulate around that idea and those images, I think really helped me kind of set a specific level of, okay, I know that it's going to be about mushrooms. This is what I can explain to people. This is the inspiration, but what other things can I throw into it to make it kind of exciting? And so high saturation was always something doing. I think speckling, getting a speckling technique that I enjoyed and was more consistent was really important. And yeah, I think it is noticeable when I explain to people what the colorway inspiration is, and I say that it's about mushrooms and fungi. I think it does give people something that they can understand more and immediately recognize and see in the colorways, because I think that's the image that I like to put across in each of the colorways. And I think once you see that, that's where it's going. I think people can really identify with, like, oh, that's that particular mushroom, or I recognize that as something that is kind of easily recognizable as mushroom or fungi. So yeah, it's something recognizable, and it's something that people can hold on to in their mind when they see it or buy it or knit with it.
And also, it's. I remember my days at uni when I was studying film and television, and you come across directors as auteurs, where you can spot a Spielberg and you can spot well, you know what I mean, the idea of a director. Well, I feel that with you and your yarn is that I can now spot a dystopic fibre yarn. And I think you can with certain indie dyers, but some indie dyers do so many colours, so many different bases, so many different approaches that they then seem to do everything. Whereas actually, I think yours, you can go, yes, straight away. I can spot that. And therefore connect with that. So that to have that sort of image and that auteurism, as it were, is really impressive because it helps obviously when marketing a product too, doesn't it? People spot you and know you straight away.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny that you mentioned kind of film and TV because it's something that I'm looking to focus on a lot more in my third year. I'm currently working through the ideas of a project where I'm going to release a new
It's all right.
release a new colorway every single week, and it's going to be called 52 Weeks of Yarn.
Oh,
And
blimey. Wow.
through my experience of dyeing over the last 2 years, I've mentioned that I like science fiction, fantasy, film, TV, video games, books, all of that. And I've not really given myself the opportunity to have fun with that and play with it. And I think now that I've taken the time to kind of understand how to run a business, understand how to make my own product, now that I've got those blocks in place, I'm really excited to have fun with it and release something every week. So that's something that I'm excited for, and I hope that everyone enjoys it.
Well, we'll keep following along. I'll keep following along. I think we've done enough talking now. Let's show everyone what yarn we've got of yours in the shop. I've made a little fancy film for everyone to look at. Here we go. Wow. Jon, brilliant, stunning. And look, I've got them here as well, but no, not that you need to. You saw them there. The purples are stunning. Where's the red one? Oh, that just yeah, they are wonderful. And in a way, it connects with me even more. And this is going to sound a bit mushy now, but over the last 2 years, I've been slowly going over to a plant-based diet. And I absolutely love mushrooms. Really, really do. And I have oyster mushrooms too and everything. And also, I'm a bit geeky with Star Trek. And I don't know, are you a Star Trek fan, Jon, by any chance?
It's on my reading list. We call it for this year. I do want to.
Well, the latest one, which I think some people perhaps don't like, Discovery, they have this weird way of jumping across space and time, and I think it was through, which is why I liked it so much. Is it the mycelium? Is that how you pronounce it? and they have this mycelium network of things which makes them jump. And when I saw that as the name, I was like, oh my word! Hence the visuals on the yarn I just had. I thought I'd go for this like network of things. I love them, love the names, love the colours. Jon, just a quick look through chats. Let's have a look here. Look, put them on there so you can see them. Susan says incredible colours. Leticia says stunning. Carol M says fantastic colours. Thanks for all your comments. I will. Ajay says beautiful. Natasha says wow, fabulous yarn. I don't even knit. Oh, well, see, that's the appreciation of what work goes into it. So yes, let's explain a bit more about it, Jon. It's merino. And it's 4-ply. We call it 4-ply. Americans fingering. Is that correct?
Absolutely. It's 4-ply fingering. 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. So it's that perfect kind of all-rounder. You do shawls with it, hats with it, jumpers with it, socks with it. It'll hold up, and I love that base. It's my standard. I would do anything with it.
Oh. 4-ply is one of my favourites too. That just takes forever, but the stitch definition is superior. Now, we're all about our community here. It's not just about my shop and what I'm selling in my shop. Jon obviously has more on his website. Fizz has already dropped the links online. So if you want different bases, Jon has got them. Most of your work, Jon, is obviously dye to order. That's correct, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
So go onto his website, and if you like it, if you connect with the yarn, if you connect with the dyer, that's what's also good about doing these little interviews, is you can invest in those people that you connect with. And that may be colouring, it may be background, it may be what they're doing, but that's the most important thing. So take a look at Jon's website, take a look at my website, you can put them in. Remember, you're supporting business in every single way. And most of that money goes back into the community too. Jon, it's been absolutely brilliant. Really, really appreciate your time. And let's see how this yarn goes in the shop. I noticed one of the comments was, oh, you're going to have any more yarn, Jon's yarn at the Woolpatch? Well, we just have to see how it goes, isn't it? Just have to see how well it sells. If I get something, I can get some more, indeed. Thanks very much, Jon. And we'll see you. Well, good luck, and I'll see you whenever. I'll probably later on when I finish this. Cheers, Jon.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.
Ah, how nice was that? So Jon from Dystopic Fibre. The yarn is in the shop. You can see the names there. If you want more information on the names, go to his website and it will explain what they all are. I mean, some of them, just get that out of my neck. Some of them you'll know, obviously. Where's Portobello, the dark brown, there's a mushroom. But then you get these ones, which I never even heard of, the purples called Deceivers, the group of Deceivers. Oh, so much. Right, everyone. Let's slow down the pace now. That was half hour of boom, 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 boom. You know what's coming. It's just gone 1/2 the hour. So let's slow it down. Right, put your knitting down, put your sewing down, get your cup ready. We are going into the gallery. This is where we see pictures of all your finished makes. And you were great over the last month. You were emailing me your pictures because some of you aren't on Instagram, no problems. Those who are on Instagram, you've been using that hashtag, which is wonderful too. And I've collected them all, curated them all, and there's over 24 of them in this gallery. So it's about 4 minutes long. So let's just take a breath as we appreciate the stunning work of you, the knitter, the sewer, the patchworker, the dressmaker, in this first live gallery.
if you are posting a picture of your finished object on Instagram, if you could just add our hashtag, the Woolpatch, to your list of hashtags, I could just add us to the bottom. That would be great, and I can find it. If not, as I say, you can email me to the address below, or you can DM me on Instagram, and I can add it to the next gallery. It would be lovely to see.
Wow. Amazing, hey? Stunning work. Now, before you look at my hat there, did you see the Lavender Blues too? All that work created with my Lavender Blue. So those of you who it was Julie, it was Mary, so many of you investing in the yarn that I get from the local farmer that I then send off to Yorkshire to be spun and come back down. So to see that just really makes my heart sing. That that whole circle of what we do from that point of view with the sheep and the yarn and the business. So that was great. So shop offers, just a quick one because we've already talked about this, haven't we? That every time we do a live, we will have this little section for you livers only. It doesn't go up weeks beforehand, it's just for you. So you'll go to shop and you'll scroll down to YouTube live promotions. Obviously, it's our first one. I haven't got that many, but if you wanted a Barbara enamel badge, you could do that. It was wonderful to try and get those made up. It was good fun. So there's some things there. There's also some real bargains. Look at this, Cotton and Steel. You fabric fans, Cotton and Steel, very famous American brand, high-end American brand. Special offer for you viewers only, not £16 a metre, £9 a metre. So have a look through there. It might be something. Tracy, the wonderful Tracy, you've seen her already with her tip about finding your community. Exactly what I did when I first got my yarn shop. I went onto Instagram and through the wonders of Instagram and YouTube found my community. Found Tracy and Emma of the Curly Seams. Emma's coming up in a bit. Found Chip and Aaron of Fibre Hustle. It is phenomenal. And then, of course, connected with so many of you on YouTube chats, bingo with Fibre Hustle, and then most importantly, you're then investing back in the shop. Wonderful. So you might want some greeting cards from Tracy. Sometimes you want to give a sewer friend a sewing card, and you don't always want those stereotypical ones with the spool on and the scissors and the sewing machine. You've got some stunning patchwork ones here. She's a designer, a quilter, long armour, teacher. So you've got all sorts there that you could treat a sewing friend to. So lots to look in the shop there. Right, enough shop talk to me. I want to just go on to this little hat. But because we were just talking about fabric, Emma's here to give us a little tip about fabric. And I actually didn't even know this, even though I sell fabric.
Hi Stuart. Hi everybody at home. I'm Emma from Curly Seams. Hope you're enjoying the show so far. My top tip revolves around choosing fabrics for your project. If you look along the bottom edge of the fabric, along what we call the selvage edge, which is the finished edge, there's lots of information on here about perhaps the manufacturer, the designer, but you'll also find a little row of different coloured dots. And what this tells you is that all of these colours were used by the dyer to print your fabric. So you can use that as a really handy little guide to find fabrics that will coordinate and go with your feature fabric. Hope it helps. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Bye.
Oh, thank you, Emma. Thank you very much for that. So, yes, I can hear the Hadley lot, the Yarn Worx in their house there. They've jumped off their settee. Yay, it's us. Here it is. So, this is the Slouchy hat beanie, or hat, should I say, the Slouchy hat by Gav Alexander. Gav and Teresa, husband and wife, they own the Yarn Worx shop in Hadley. It's about 20 minutes away from me. And over the last year, I've become quite friendly with them because we, by chance, I think I explained this on the last video, they popped into my shop and they just said, "Oh, are you interested in a yarn crawl?" And it's like, funny enough, I've been thinking about trying to do something over the last 2 or 3 years because you Americans have inspired me with the Chicago one, the San Francisco one, the Texas one, the new, so many of you do them over there. So I've been wanting to do one for some time. And so we work together. And when I finish work on a Tuesday early, I go back home via Hadley, 20 minutes, and drop in and have a cup of tea. And we planned the East Anglian yarn crawl together. And it was really refreshing because it's just me at the Woolpatch. Well, and probably Ting and Anya and everyone else who helps. But actually, it's just me that's got to make those decisions. And I miss my old teaching days with my team. Perhaps don't miss the teaching, but I do miss my team and I miss that camaraderie of working together. So it's been lovely working with Gav and Teresa over the last couple of months. Well, that's gone on and on and on, and Gav is learning to knit, and he has knitted this and designed it. It's a really simple pattern. So if you want to learn knitting in the round, then it's a great pattern to do. Let's take a closer look of their shop first of all. Let me show you their amazing yarn wool. Look, so this is Worx Hadley. Look at all that colour. Gosh, like a Turkish salad there. Bursts of red, bursts of green. And that's the Worx Hadley, and that's where Gav is based. And this yarn is that yarn that you're seeing there, Emma's yarn. If I remember rightly, it's Florida. It's a yarn from Florida. And Hadley, the Yarn Worx lot, they have exclusivity to that brand in the UK. You cannot get Emma's yarn anywhere else. Now, there is the worsted. That's what this hat is done in. And if you zoom in, if I've done it right and timed it right, you should see iguana. That is the colourway. And it's worsted wool. And oh, there you go. Look at that. Perfect. And we've talked about worsted before on one of my videos. In the UK here, we don't really have worsted yarn. We go from double knit yarn, which is an old-fashioned 8-ply, because when we originally had knitting wool, it was only 4-ply, and then they doubled it, literally, so 8-ply, so they called it double knit. But since technology has changed, plies have changed, factories use 3 plies, one single like a roving single. They use different plies, so you can't really use the ply term to represent how many plies are in a yarn. So worsted is slightly thicker than double knit, but not as thick as what we would call here in Britain Aran weight. But some companies, you could use a thin Aran to be equivalent to a worsted, or even a thick double knit. But this was done with their Emma's yarn worsted, and let's have a closer look at it. Here you go. Look at that. It's got a really long rib. If you want to then just keep it down like I have, is that playing there? Yeah. Or I suppose you could, if you don't want the slouchy look, you could do that. Now, I think, Gav, you can correct me with this. When I knitted it, I don't think I knitted mine as long because I prefer mine with my rib down. But you can knit that bit before you start doing your decreases. So your slouch bit could be really, really long. But yes, so you could have the rib there like that. Yeah, let's go there. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. There you go. It's interesting when you see yourself in reflection because you can't work out where it's going. But I actually say I prefer mine like that, which I think how to do. Don't look at yourself, Stuart. Don't look at yourself. That's right. There you go. Look, this is interesting viewing for you, isn't it? When I go running, I'll be wearing this hat in the winter because it's just great. It's how I would want it, Rocky style, coming down the steps. Right, we've got 10 minutes left, and this is where we start to chill out with what are you doing and looking at your knits. So, Gav, thank you very much for this. I'm going to actually take it off because I'm boiling hot. And if I've done it right, Ting should be dialing in as we speak. I think he's in the green room. Let's find him. Where is he? Let's go there. Where is he? Ah, there he is.
Hello.
Oh, and you're crocheting. Look at that. Everyone,
Well, I have to do something.
This is Ting. His name is Stuart, but his surname just gets shortened, so we call him Ting, because obviously I'm Stuart too. Long time colleagues and mates now. He's my best mate. Known him since, well, we go back to 2000, 2001.
20 years, yeah. Or 21 now, I suppose.
But for those of you who don't know, a bit of which it all soon makes sense when I tell you. I was head of drama. He was head of business. He is still head of business studies. So he would do stuff with our school shows. He would be in our pantomimes, the famous Dame, and he would dress up. But obviously, when I left teaching, his skills for business and business studies came into play. Did my accounts for the first year and all sorts. So it's been wonderful. So how the Woolpatch has grown is down to this man as well. So just want you to all know that. So Ting, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, at the moment, I'm making a scarf, which, given how old things are, this is my winter 2022 scarf that I'm currently doing. Nice rainbow as well.
Well,
it's all twisted around because I've been turning.
Can I just say, look at those straight edges, people. Any crocheters in the house, you'll know how awkward it is to get a straight line. Look at that edge.
Again, it's trying to do everything in reverse. I can't work out which side I'm on.
I'm just looking in the chat, and I can see a very special person in the chat. Anya, there we go. Just as well. Get better soon. Lovely to have you chatting. Hopefully you sat in bed with your iPad on. And Jen as well. Let's say a big shout out to Jen. Many of these, well, Ting, Jen and Anya started with me. Well, it was me and Anya at first. On our first, you can probably see them in the history there of us chatting together. So yeah, shame we can't have you, Anya, but it's still good to have you, Ting. So yeah, Rob says, which is really interesting. Did you bring your throwing slipper from the results?
I'm wearing my slippers because it's so cold. But that's after fishing them out from the back of the TV, yes.
Can we say the results, or is it naughty too? Because I don't know the results.
Did you? Oh no, I suppose you turned off in the last 5 minutes.
I was, yes. I was in makeup, darling.
But yeah, so you wanted to know all about my straight edge then?
Yes, tell us about the straight edges, because I know there are many different ways of doing it. Is it down to the turning chain?
Well, yes and no. So I've got a YouTuber that I follow, which many of you may already do, which is Hooked by Robin. And I think she is English, but she uses American terms, which is what I also use. But she put a video out showing how to do this, what she calls, I can't get this right, I'm going the wrong way when I go off the camera.
I know, that's what, like me with my hair.
Is what she called a stacked single crochet. So instead of doing a turning chain of 3, you actually stack up single crochets, 2 single crochets, and it creates a V. I'm not going to be able to do this. I couldn't do that, so I was going to do that. It creates a V on the top. Whichever way I want to go, it goes the opposite.
Yeah, I know.
It creates a V so that you can actually then do, when you come to get to the end of the row, you can do your stitch and it goes up into a V rather than trying to find a turning chain. Okay. And also, because those turning chains can get a bit gappy, you know, this is actually a stitch that goes down the side, and therefore you don't get the gappiness that goes out, and it keeps it nice and straight. Again,
there you
here we
go.
But it goes off.
Yeah, I know it's right. If I think this is fitting with the right conversation, Lou says yes, she's fab. So say it again, Ting, who it was.
It's Hooked by Robin. And she's got such a lovely voice that I normally watch them when I'm lying in bed before I go to sleep.
Oh, and look, just another one. Sorry, Ting. Jen's there. Big shout out to Jen. Give her a wave. Jen would help me in the shop sweeping and cleaning on a Monday, and I miss our cleaning. See, that's the community for you, isn't it? It is amazing how this community has grown over the years. So let us know in the comments what you're doing. This is where in the chatter we can just chill a bit. We've got a couple of minutes left before the end of the show.
You've got something else that I was doing though, haven't you? Because you finished it off for me.
Yes. What am I doing?
You were putting the edging on the binding on one of my quilts, I believe.
We showed this fabric in the last recorded vlog, and it's now a finished object. Look at that.
Something that I designed myself.
Yes.
And the back. No. Don't forget the back. That's got the main panel on.
Yeah. You just got me standing up. Look at that. Can you see it?
So you'd ordered these two fabrics, hadn't you? That back panel and what's gone round the edge. I see you're having my problem now.
The border.
And normally we would perhaps do a charm quilt with the 5-inch squares in the middle, but obviously you didn't have any of those. So I think it took me about 20 minutes to go through all of your solids and pick out the colours that are in that quilt, and said to you, I know what'll work. Let's do some half square triangles. And you sent me packing with some fat quarters.
Yeah.
And I've managed to put that together for you as a display. So
thank you, Ting. Yeah. And I know some of you have already bought this outer fabric too, because it was 2 bolts of it. I can't remember what it was called actually. It was by Timeless Treasures, which is another American fabric company who do some great stuff. And we did the binding there, but we cheated. Jen, you didn't get to do this one and didn't get to sew it down by hand. I machine bound it quite quickly. But I'm making you a present, Ting.
Oh, now look at those colours.
Yeah. This is what I'm doing. No, it's a beanie hat. You know me and beanies. It's instant, isn't it? I love knitting and I love crochet, but I know I don't do very well with big projects. I can have one big project on the go, maybe, like the West Knits Mystery Knit Along, which has not done very well at all. But these knits, I can sit down in one evening and either do it in one evening or 2. Fizz, sorry, I haven't helped you with this link, have I? I forgot we were going to talk about this. This is the Sidewinder beanie.
I think we saw one actually in the gallery. Someone had knitted a couple
that's
in
right.
there.
Jenny had done it. It's a wonderful pattern. It's Aspen Leaf Knits on Instagram, and it's just wonderful. It's in the round, so it's nice and easy, but it's got enough detail in it to make it a little bit thinky, but you can still switch off because it's like 5 knit, and then there's a bit of stocking stitch or a moss stitch, and then this clever twisted stitch, and it takes no time at all. But it's done in Malabrigo raster. Queue to the shop, go and jump in. I have put the Malabriga raster at special offer for you livers. It's not £20. I've done it for 16, I think, for you. If you want to grab some, I've got more delivery coming. But this was in Persia, and I'm sad to say this is sold out already. But that's for you. That's your Christmas present.
Oh, that'll look lovely with my green jacket actually, and my new green DMs. So. I wore them when we went to the theatre, don't you remember?
Oh, yes. So what else is everyone doing? Let's have a quick look through the chat before we finish the show. This is what I've got to get used to. Oh, look, James.
6 jumpers on the go.
Hey?
somebody's got 6 jumpers on the go.
Oh, have they?
I'm
Oh,
reading
got to look
here.
for that. James is working on the flax. Oh, flax light. So that's Tin Can Knits, James, yeah, which is a labour of love as making the larger size. Keep at it, James. It will be worth it. The Tin Can Knits do some stunning patterns, don't they? Let's have a look. Deborah says, I am knitting a tank top, as we used to call them, just cast off the back and now casting on the front. Yeah, a lot of the companies are calling them slipovers now.
It's a tank top.
Yeah. Julie says, just finished another shift cowl by Andrea Murray in lavender blue. Julie, can't wait to see that. And Ginger Twist. Now, that's another local yarn shop, obviously not to us. I think Edinburgh, am I right in saying that? You might...
How is that local? That's
well,
local at all.
It's local to people.
You mean independent?
Well, near John, he's up there, isn't he? Independent, that's right. T, great to see you, T. Right, I'm still making my Dresden plate quilt by hand. I thought you had nearly finished that. You're quilting it now, T. If you go on to...
If she's doing it by hand, she'll be lucky to be finished.
Instagram, a labour of love. That's a stunning work, that will be. Susan... I'll be working on the bookshelf sweater I just saw in the Gallery of Make. Look at that.
That's nice. I like that.
What we say about the gallery is that it's about inspiring others. But and we know this, Ting, don't we? We're in our teaching mode. We're trained to get the kids to sing about their work and praise them and big them up. Yet in the adult world, we don't sing our own trumpets, do we? Oh no, that's not the right phrase, is it? What is it?
Blow your own
blow. Yeah. We need to do it more, and that's the point of the gallery, isn't it? It's to say, yeah, I made that, and it's proper couture work with our hands, the skills and the talent. So that's the whole point of the gallery. So it's great. So, well, there we are, everyone. It's just gone 9 o'clock. Yeah, overrun by a few minutes, but there we are. That's not bad for our first one, is it? Thank you all for watching. Really enjoyed it. Thanks, Ting. Thanks for coming along. I'll let you go back and carry on.
The SAS is on now.
Right. Thanks very much for watching the first live. Not too many technical errors. A few buttons here, there to press that I've missed. But it's been lovely chatting with you. It's quick an hour, isn't it? Lovely reading your chats. I'll have to go back and rewatch to see it. It's challenging looking at the comments. Boy, do they fly up. But it's been lovely chatting. I hope you liked it live. It will be interesting to see how we go forward, whether we do another live once a month or what we do, or whether we do some recorded ones. Who knows? The most important thing is I've enjoyed talking to you, and thank you very much for tuning in and taking the time to watch and to join in. Next time we'll try and get some more sewing chat. I'd like to get Carol. Can you remember Carol? Carol, the tailor, the master tailor couturier. Be nice to get her on. In fact, I want to visit a few shops in London, a few haberdasheries, so that would be really good. But for the time being, thank you very much for watching. That's it for the Woolpatch Live, our first one in the can, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.